morning, 5th graders. This is going to be what we're working on in class today, so this should be familiar to you. You're going to need a straight edge, so make sure you have something ready. We're going to be plotting points, and as we've learned already, you need to go over first and then up. I always remind you it's like a ladder. You have to move your ladder over before you climb up. So let's go ahead and start plotting some points. Our first one is 6, 0 over 6, up 0. Our next one is 6, 2, and then we'll connect our dots together here. It's easiest if you cross them out when you're done so you don't forget where you were. On this particular assignment we're going to need to go back, so be careful though that you don't cross out quite, so dark. This time over 5, up 3, again connect. Next we've got over 3, up 3. After that we've got 3, 6, over 3, up 6, connect. I'm sure you'll be a little bit more precise than I am. I'm trying to do this quickly for you. Next we've got over 6, up 7 this time. I lose my spot a little bit, so I'm going to use this to help me remember where 6 is. And there's 7, so now it's easier to plot that one. Next I've got 7, 10. Again, I'm going to use my straight edge to find 7 and then move over to 10. Next I've got 9, 11, so I'll use this to help me find 9 and then plot 11 coming across. Next I've got 11, 11. I'll hold my spot over here with the 11 and find 11 here. Interesting shape coming out. I don't quite recognize it. Over 13, up 10. And then over 13, up 3. Do you recognize this shape yet? Me either. Over 11, up 2. Maybe it's a duck, I don't know. And our last one, 11, 0, right there. Now, as we learned today, sometimes we want things in the negative quadrant, so today we're going to be thinking about reflection. If I could fold this sheet in half, what would be on the other side? And the question is, which number, the first number or the second number in the pair, do you need to change to the opposite in order to draw the reflection on the design? If I did negative numbers this way, I would end up down here. I want negative numbers this way, so it must be the first. And now we start thinking negative. So our first one was negative 6, 0. So we're going to go over 6, up 0. Our next one, negative 6, 2. And again, we'll plot these points as we go. We're going to do the reverse. We've got negative 5, 3. Next, we've got negative 3, 3. Again, pause the video if I'm going too fast. We've got negative 3, 6. Starting to see the reverse image come. Next I've got negative 6, 7. Starting to lose my spot a little bit. I might need to use my straight edge to help me again. There we go. Next I've got negative 7, 10. I'm going to use the straight edge this time so I don't lose it. Next I'm thinking negative 9, 11. Here's my negative 9, up 11. Must be there. And then I've got negative 11, 11. Here's my negative 11, up 11, right here. Next I've got a negative 13, 10. I'll hold my spot with this. There's my 10. Next, I've got a negative 13, 3. And then I've got a negative 11, 2. And my last one, negative 11, 0. And if I look, I should have the complete reverse image of this. All right, now down to the bottom. Down here, we're going to be multiplying some pretty large numbers, so you're going to need a little bit of space. So I'm going to move over this way. So the first thing I'm going to do is stack them up neatly. 752 times 35. I'm going to ignore the 3 for now and just focus on the 5. Sometimes even have 5th graders cover the digit here. So 5 times 2 is 10, carry the 1. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 1 is 26, carry the 2. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 2 is 37. I'm now done with this digit. I'm going to cross these off so I don't forget them. Now 3 is not really 3, it's 30 because it's in the tens place, so I need a 0 to remind me of that. 3 times 2 is 6, 5 times 3 is 15, carry the 1. 7 times 3 is 21, plus another is 22. Add these up, and I get 0, 12, and 5 plus 1 is 6, plus another is 13. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus another is 6, and I get 26,320. Now, if you notice, I have the exact same number over here, but this time I have decimals. When you add decimals, you must line up the decimals. I'm not adding, I'm multiplying. I'm going to ignore the decimals for the moment. I'll add them in, but I'm not even going to pay attention to them. But my digits are exactly the same. I can go through the whole process, or I can just write my answer. I already know it's going to be 26320. But now I need to count my decimal places. I have 1, 2, 3 places behind the decimal. See, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to count over this way. 1, 2, 3. And I get an answer of 26,320. And this one, again, was 26,320. These down here are a little trickier. We haven't learned about multiplying fractions yet, so we'll have to review that this morning. When you get here, 7 times 2, we're just going to multiply across. 7 times 2 is 14. 8 times 3 is 24. This is a very large number. I think I can divide both of them by 2 and reduce my fraction. Something we haven't done much with yet. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 24 divided by 2 is 12. 7 is prime, so I can't reduce anymore. 7/12 is a better fraction. This one is a mixed number, so I can't multiply until I change it to an improper fraction. To do that, I'm actually going to multiply these two together and add this one. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 more is 5, and my denominator stays the same. And now I can multiply it by 3/4. I know I'm going quickly and you haven't learned this yet, so don't get too upset. We'll keep working on it in class. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 4 is 8. And we can't leave it like that. If you remember from last year, this is called an improper fraction, when the numerator is bigger than the denominator is improper. So I asked myself, how many times will 8 go into 15? Almost 2, but not quite, so I have to go with the 1. I have 7 left over, so my fraction becomes 1 7/8. All right, thanks for working with me.